Just with home builders, there's any variety of options. So most home builders sell you a base model house, and then you can do upgrades for your flooring, upgrades for your paint, upgrades for any number of things that go into your home. And Lennar, which is a nationwide company, has a package that they sell almost exclusively in California, and it's called EI, which is everything included. And which is funny because you only get 4 choices of countertops. You can have beige, standard granite, white, or black. So in my opinion, that's not really everything's included. That's, hey, pick from the 4 options that we're giving you, and we're going to make it sound really good. So you get an upgraded house, you pay more money for it, but you're limited on your choices to what you're doing. Tiny home building is very much the same way. Most of the builders of tiny houses in the United States use a very standard method of building. They build with 2x4 construction, they build with plywood, and they build with moisture barriers like Tyvek. Some of them are still using tar paper, which is fine depending on the climate you're in. Ice and water shield on the roofing. Some of them put composite roofing on. Some of them, I choose to put metal on. I think it's more durable, can handle the wind loading better, and I can get a lower pitch roof on it. And I apologize for that. So, other builders are choosing to do things different. They're using a product called a SIP. The SIP stands for Structurally Insulated Panel, and every builder in the country that's using a SIP is using a plywood SIP. It has 3/4 inch plywood on both sides of it. It's typically 6.5 to 7 inches thick, and when you have 102 inches on your trailer chassis and you put a 7-inch panel on each side, you just cut that's almost 1.5 feet off your total build. So now instead of having 8'6", you now have 7 foot clear on the inside of your building, and it makes it feel really cramped. When you're framing with standard 2x4 construction, you're getting an R13 on the exterior wall, and but you're losing 4.5 inches as opposed to 7, and you're still 7 foot 10 inches. That feels a lot bigger than a 7 foot build. I chose to pursue a panel construction technology called a C-SIP, and it's a composite structurally insulated panel. So the skin on it is literally a composite material. The one we're using is a woven glass that's covered with a resin. It has a 60 plus pound pull rating for any screws that are put into the panel. It's a very lightweight material, like I said earlier in a different little segment. It's literally 1 pound per square foot, which is significantly less than a plywood SIP. It reduces the overall weight of my trailer significantly, and it allows me to actually build the structure of the trailer frame with less steel. So it's more flexible, more durable, because the paneling system itself actually takes the load. In addition to that, it has allowed me to manufacture a literal 3-inch wall structure on either side. So now where I legally can go 102 inches, I'm taking 6 inches off of that. I'm getting a very good R rating, above 14 on that. And then I have 8 foot clear inside. So even the distance between 7'9" and 8 foot, or 7 foot and 8 foot, is a really big deal. So 1 foot on 7 foot is 1/7, so that's like 15 or 16% increase in interior volume of your short spaces. So there's many different options on your build. You can stick frame yourself. That's fairly simple. When I went to start building, one of my biggest obstacles is nobody wanted to sell me a C-SIP. When I became convinced of the durability of the product, the lack of pest and moisture intrusion issues, the insulation value I can get out of it, the lack of thermal penetrations in it, it's just an overall quality build. They wouldn't sell to me, number one, because I was so small. In fact, they said, I'm not going to sell you enough to build one unit. I contacted 4 or 5 different manufacturers of these, and it took 2 years to get a supplier that was going to work with us, and we found a very good supplier. It's a partnership. It's a win-win for everybody, And he's working on introducing a new technology that could help the housing market, the tiny house market, and doing very well. Constructing things yourself, 2x4s would be your way to go. Easy to put together if you do a little bit of practice. Let's see, many options. So cutting past the building techniques and materials used, some builders and suppliers of tiny homes literally want you to only do custom builds. They want to start from the ground. They want to custom everything. Very expensive, very specific. Then the next level of that is they have a very standard way they do things. They will only do the standard thing. You can change very little. They're still also, from what I've found, expensive. And then I've blended the production model home technique of building 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 basic structures, all in the same shells. We have 3 basic shell spaces. One's 18 foot, one's 22.5 feet, and one is 27 feet. Those are all based on our panel widths and the building of those panels. And with those 3 structures, I have a series of layout that we can do inside of those. And then, so we have a base model, which comes with base items, and then you add on and you pay a little bit of extra for each of your options that you upgrade. And I really haven't seen anybody in the tiny house industry at this point following the concept of the production home. They like the concept, but they haven't followed it. So that's our goal, to bring affordability, to bring freedom from debt at Tiny House Tool. What we want to do is we want to give you a very versatile and usable shell with some base items like a kitchen and a bathroom and a loft or downstairs bedroom, and then let you add into it the 1 or 2 things that are crucial. Solar panels is one of those things. Tiny homes can be totally self-contained. Batteries, solar panels, inverters, they can all be built in, and we can do all that. And we're looking forward to doing more of them as we keep going forward at an affordable price to bring freedom from debt. I'm Forrest at Tiny House Tool. Keep asking us questions, because we want to sit here and talk to you.